This is, in my opinion, the definition of a sleeping giant. And buenos dias, buenos dias, buenos dias, and welcome back to Cryptocito. Yo, today we'll be talking about my favorite, biggest sleeping giant that I can't believe nobody's even talking about this cryptocurrency anymore, and that is Hedera Hashgraph. I've been stacking this coin like crazy over the past couple of weeks because, similar to the Graph, which is a coin that I just made a review last week, I believe Hedera also has the potential to enter the top 10 or at least the top 20. That's just my personal opinion. None of this is obviously financial advice. You're old enough to take your own investment decisions with your own money. All I do is share my personal research results, my opinions, my thoughts, but maybe I can inspire you to take smarter decisions, to take better decisions, or to start doing your own research. But first, as promised, I will be doing a $50 giveaway for 2 people, so $100 in total in Nano, right? Which is my favorite cryptocurrency in order to make payments or transactions. So we'll pick the first winner right now. The second winner will be announced tomorrow on my Twitter channel. And thanks again for being part of this community. I think together we can do so much cool stuff. So in this video, I was announcing that I'll be doing a 100 giveaway to celebrate my 1,000 subscribers. A lot of you guys have commented here, also with your Nano address. I really appreciate that. But I want to really reward those guys who genuinely engage with my content, and I truly appreciate all of you taking part here. I'll keep note of that. Honestly, I will keep note of that, how active you are, how engaged you are, because I don't want to reward people who just come for the giveaway, right? So there's one person that has been supporting me since my very early videos, and it is this account here, Amaki Kisei, because I really appreciate you. Thank you so much. So we'll be doing this right now and send you your $50 Nano reward. That's 47 nanos. Bam. Are you sure? Yes. And it's sent. Now let's dive into Hedera Hashgraph. All right, so let's start here on COINGECKO. Hedera Hashgraph with the ticker HBAR is currently trading at 3.34 US dollar cents. It has a market capitalization of 220 million US dollars and a trading volume of 13,270,000. Circulating supply is 6.6 billion tokens out of 50 billion tokens, which is the total supply. So if you want to know the fully diluted market capitalization or the actual market capitalization of the project, we should just multiply 50 billion times 0.0334, and we got a fully diluted of 1.67 billion US dollars. So that currently ranks HBAR on 75 here on COINGECKO with a market cap of 220 million, which is based on the circulating tokens, right? On the 6.6 billion, not on the 50 billion, right? If it was fully diluted, it would be 1.67 billion, and then it would probably be already in the top 20, right? So keep that in mind, the ratio between circulating supply and fully diluted supply, because what does this mean? This actually means that the company behind Hedera Hashgraph, or Hedera Hashgraph is actually a company, that they're still holding those 43.4 billion tokens, right? So they're holding this, but not them alone. There are also other investors, which we will be looking into in a second, right? So meaning that a lot of the coins are still in the hand of early investors, the company, founders, advisors, VC funds, right? So they still hold a lot of coins, right? So this is super important. And this is also one reason why a lot of people in the crypto space don't like this project. If we look here at the chart, it gets really interesting, right? Because this chart does not look nice at all. It doesn't look nice at all. It came out here by the end of 2019 at 11 cents, apparently. I don't even know if that is correct. Maybe there was just one wick that went up, and since then it has been trading around 3 to 6 cents, between that range. I mean, there hasn't been much movement. In February of this year, it pumped a 3x out of nowhere because Google announced that they joined the governance council of Hedera. And we'll be looking into all that in a second, but this is just, you know, what one announcement can basically do. Another thing that is important here to point out is that HBAR is listed on a lot of very solid exchanges. COINGECKO doesn't really show all of them, but Upbit, which is a solid Korean exchange, Binance, which is obviously a global exchange in the meanwhile. Then we have Bittrex, and also we have OKX, right, which have strong user bases in China. So the volumes are okay, it could be higher, but that is exactly the definition of a sleeping giant, in my opinion, right? This chart, like those volume candles, those exchange volumes, this is, in my opinion, the definition of a sleeping giant. And if we look into some things like this one, for example, Coinbase announced in July 31st that they are continuing to explore the support for new digital assets, meaning that they're looking into those cryptocurrencies and maybe they will list them on the exchange, right? And we've seen in the meantime, some of those coins have been listed, right? And HBAR is one of them, which is on the list, but still didn't get listed, right? So this is something that you should keep in mind, because we all have seen, especially now with the graph, the latest coin, what a Coinbase listing can do, right? Looking at the token distribution schedule, this is something that people really complain all the time, and they're really transparent about it. So HBAR publishes this every single month, how many tokens get added to the supply and which contractor, like there's different rounds of investing, right? There's SAF 1, SAF 2, SAF 3, advisors, senior advisors, employees, how much do they get at which date, so that you can actually plan, like, you know, you want to buy, you want to sell. For example, today there was a big dump, right? And you can see 22nd of December, almost 170 million coins did get added to the supply from those early investors, right? So this is something that you should always keep track of. I'm not personally too concerned about this, even though sure, it adds a high inflation at the beginning, or hyperinflation in the beginning. But then I believe over time, as the supply gets more diluted, there will be less sell pressure, and it will mean that there's more room to grow for the price. But honestly, the fact that we're still in that high inflation launching phase, more or less, is actually an opportunity, in my opinion, right? Because you don't want to buy this coin when it's already in the perfect stage, right? When they already announced all those partnerships, when they already announced all those integrations, and when the tokenomics looks perfectly fine, right? Then it's already too late to buy this coin. Okay, but now let's get into what Hedera Hashgraph is actually doing. And Hedera Hashgraph is not built on a blockchain. Hedera didn't develop their own blockchain. What they built is completely different, and it's called a directed acyclic graph. In short, it's a DAG. IOTA, for example, right? IOTA's Tangle is also a very similar construction, but the problem with IOTA has always been that their tech doesn't really work. There's also other projects like Phantom, and I think even Nano is using a DAG infrastructure. So Hedera tries to resolve that with a complete different algorithm and with a complete different data structure, which is called the gossip-to-gossip protocol. And that protocol is pioneered by the co-founder, Dr. Leemon Baird, who has been in the space for many years. Hedera basically saying that, hey, blockchain 1.0, which is Bitcoin, proof of work, right? It has a lot of trade-offs. And then blockchain 2.0 was Ethereum, where you could add smart contracts and those features. And then blockchain 3.0, or the next step in the evolution, is now, according to Hedera Hashgraph, a DAG infrastructure. And it's also noteworthy here that Hedera Hashgraph is not a permissionless system, right? There is a governance council, which means that there are companies from the real world economy that are part and have a say in the future of the project, right? And there are 39 slots, and you can see huge companies like Boeing, LG, Deutsche Telekom, Google, IBM, right? And SWIRDLS is a very important company here on that list because they have special rights in that governance council. And this company is owned by the founders of Hedera Hashgraph. So if we look into what Hedera Hashgraph is claiming the technology can do, it is actually very interesting and mind-blowing if you look at the numbers, right? So they say Bitcoin can do 3 transactions per second. The average fee is $3, and it takes 10 to 60 minutes to confirm transactions, right? And I have been using Bitcoin a lot to pay for things, to send money abroad, and it actually is very user unfriendly, right? It's very costly to make a transaction, and it takes forever to send funds. Now, Ethereum, the problem here is, even though it's a bit faster and transactions are a bit cheaper, the problem is that especially in DeFi, you need to make so many transactions, right? Send funds, you want to swap something, you want to put money into a smart contract, you want to take it out, right? Like there's so many transactions that you need to do. And if you pay $3 all the time, it really adds up to a lot of money, right? So even though the block time is much faster, only 10 to 20 seconds, I think effectively it's like 13, 14 seconds. It is very, very, very unscalable as of now, right? That's why ETH2 is in the works. Now, Hedera is already a step further, and they claim to have achieved 10,000 plus transactions per second at an average fee, which is fixed, I think, at $0.0001 US, and 3 to 5 seconds with finality, right? So those numbers are huge numbers. And now, if you have such a fast, scalable, and reliable, secure technology, there's so many things you can actually do with that, right? One, for example, you can launch tokens, right? And that is what Hedera Hashgraph is basically just announcing right now as we speak, the Hedera token service. So that enables you to configure, mint, and manage your own fungible as well as non-fungible tokens without needing to set up and deploy a smart contract, right? So I've watched the demo, which you can find on their YouTube channel, and it's really cool how you can just with a few clicks set up basically your own entire project. Now we've seen what they claim they can do. Now let's look into what they are actually doing, okay? So here on the website, you can see that they are counting, and this is being updated every single day over the past 24 hours, how many transactions have been routing through their DAC, right? And as of now, this is 2.6 million transactions with a latency or a finality, you would call a block finality in blockchain and Ethereum, of 3.9 seconds. They already have hundreds of teams that are building on Hedera Hashgraph. You can all look that up here from different sectors, the healthcare sector, from the media sector, from telecommunications, also from retail. If we look into payments, which is obviously a huge thing, and I keep mentioning this all the time, guys, blockchain, Bitcoin will fail as a payment network during this bull run. It will fail. It's already failing. But there are alternatives, right? Like Nano. That's why I do giveaways in Nano, not in Bitcoin, because I don't. Why should I pay $5 for a transaction fee? And there are also some case studies that they already have, Zeugs, for example, and they already have integrated Hedera or built on Hedera more or less to launch payment networks. So that is super interesting that they already have all those use cases and case studies, right? You can go here on literally on their website and just see all the case studies that they have here, right? Sure, right now, this is probably just proof of concept, right? This is not like the millions and billions of dollars that are transactioning via the HBAR network, but still, this thing is already being used. They have tons of partners. You can see here, like there's a long list of partners. They already have integrations with Chainlink as well. So after all, I still think that Hedera Hashgraph is in the early tech development, even though it's been in the works for almost 5 years. I think one last thing that we can look into is the team. So Dr. Leemon Baird is the founder and the chief scientist, and Mans Harman, who is his business partner at SWIRDLS, he's the co-founder and CEO of the company, right? And if you watch through their bios, their short bios, you figure that those guys actually have a lot of experience in what they do. They're not just crypto startup, pump and dump copycats, right? Those guys are actually experienced people from the industry with industry knowledge. And here's a quick summary of their roadmap and their journey so far, basically. So it basically all started in 2015 when Dr. Baird developed this Hashgraph network, right, in order to resolve the blockchain trilemma back then, which obviously was not as big as it is today. And if we go fast forward to now 2019, this is where they open up the governance council. Throughout the year 2019, they have added more members to the council and also advanced their technology. For example, they implemented something that is called mirror nodes, query historical data within their own network, right? So it's basically something that the Graph is doing just for their own network, for their own public ledger, right? So basically they're trying to make their own tech architecture more robust, faster, and simpler, right? And less complex after all. That is very, very amazing. Yeah, like I said earlier, I think one main aspect why a lot of people are not really keen to invest in this is their endless list of investors, right? Because there are a lot of them, a lot of VCs funds. The Digital Currency Group, which is the parent company of the Grayscale Trust Fund, is a huge partner that you would love to have on your investor board, right? Also Fanbushu Digital, which is seed round investor in Ethereum, and those guys are from China. I've been in their offices when I was living there. Huge value add to their investor board. And then there's also other companies here. Obviously, Swisscom Blockchain is also very good. Unibright, I was really surprised to see Unibright here under their partner section. And yeah, they're always looking also to grow the team even further. So this is about the team and about the roadmap, right? I think right now their main focus is to launch the Hedera token service. Right now, I think they're in the final stages to actually release that. And it is going to be really cool because in fact, what you can do is you can tokenize everything, right? You can tokenize assets, fungible, non-fungible, real estate, CryptoKitties, Pokemon cards. They're basically launching their equivalent of smart contracts for the Hedera Hashgraph network. And that is obviously huge, right? So I'm really looking forward to that. From an investment perspective, like I said, guys, I'm personally stacking this coin like crazy. I think it will be one of the big surprises and big outperformers during this bull run. It's a huge project. There's a lot of VC money behind, a lot of strong funds. And that is something you want to see, right? Strong funds that are able to scale the project, that are able to scale the company. Huge members in the governing council. I mean, I don't know what you're waiting for. So what I would recommend you to do from here on is to start doing your own research, right? Don't take this one video that you just saw and take that as investment advice to now go buy the token, right? Just because I'm excited, I'm talking about it. But yeah, remember that I'm just a random guy on the internet talking about things that I'm personally excited and interested in. Doesn't mean that it is something for you, right? So this coin, just as any cryptocurrency under the sun, can always go to zero like this, right? Always keep that in mind. This is very risky. It is all innovative experimental tech in the end of the day. But personally, I'm super excited about Hedera Hashgraph. So thanks for watching. Thanks for being part of this community. I hope you stay safe. You have a blessed Christmas time with your family and with your friends, wherever you are. And I'll see you on the next one.